welcome to another episode of LRATC Rewind. I'm your host, Caden Hart, and I'm joined by my co-host, Prabhat Singh, and we are live in the Broadcast Media Studio here at the Louis L. Arts and Technology Center.
Our guest today, being a previous graduate of the hairstyling program we offer here at ATC. He graduated in 2016, and since then, he had a ton of success in his early career. We will talk more about that later in the episode. But Mark, how is it going?
I'm awake. That's what's going.
Obviously, you went into hairstyling program here in ATC. What made you choose hairstyling? And you have a coffee, so that's good. You will.
Yeah, coffee is great. Great invention. Sorry, what's the question again?
You went into hairstyling program here at ATC, right?
Yes.
So, what made you choose hairstyling? You might be thinking before entering the program. So, what made you choose about that?
To be honest, I was looking for the cheapest tuition, and this was it.
Yeah, that's one thing. It's
Yeah.
very cheap here. Were you in school when you entered?
No, I wasn't. I was working. Yeah.
So we get it for free now. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you know. Yeah.
Must be nice. I mean, I basically got it for free. I signed up for this bursary that once I graduate, I get almost the same amount that the registration cost.
Yeah, it's right after you graduate, you get, and that's one thing why a lot of people come here is that it's very affordable and cheap. So yeah, that's one great thing about it. What can you tell me about your time here at ATC and what was the atmosphere like?
It was great. I really enjoyed myself. Very close-knit class. The instructors were great. And my experience in the environment here was, again, very close-knit. Even the principals, the vice principals, the faculty, they got to know the students. It's not that big of a school, so yeah, everyone got to know each other. The outside of class programs, help kind of people get to know each other from other classes. It was a great environment.
So were you guys laid back and it was fun?
Yeah, it honestly reminded me of high school again, but I guess that's what it was. It was high school.
Yeah.
So and I'm an athlete, so I really enjoyed the intramurals part. Got to do some fitness and some sports. Trying to remember, it was a while ago.
What sports do you play?
Pretty much every sport, but mostly basketball.
Basketball.
Yeah. I don't know. Even the cafe, the lunch area was great. Everyone, was there. Got to meet a lot of different people, and around the corner of or behind ATC, there was a little, corner store. That's where we'd go meet up or get some snacks or something like that, and just walk back. It was really nice. It was just really, really laid back and wasn't really too stressed out here or anything like that. It was a good pace.
In what ways did ATC prepare you for this industry?
Well, just being in the hair program, I thought I knew a lot about hair, but I didn't. And that was really nice it really humbleized me, and learning about the science about hair, the fundamentals about hair, and just things about hair that I had no idea about. So that prepared me for going out into the industry and knowing science about hair and being more knowledgeable, educated, and seeing other people cut and talk about hair and do hair that haven't gone to hair school. I could really see where their level is at to what ATC, has taught me. And, I feel like some people take some of these programs for granted and say it was boring, I didn't learn nothing.
Yeah.
But you learn a lot, if you're open-minded and, come in with a positive approach, you really learn a lot, and people don't understand that the fundamentals is what gets you started. And, when you leave schools like ATC, that's when the fun begins on how you take those fundamentals and create something out of it.
Yeah, it was kind of the same for me. You know, I thought I learned a little bit about broadcasting, but turns out didn't know that much at all. It's like you think you know the basics, but there's just so much more things
There's
that
a
are
lot.
going on. And,
Yeah.
no, it's a fun experience. Would you say that's what makes ATC stand out compared to normal schools?
Yeah, I think so. I've talked to other people that have gone to different hair programs, and I don't know. It's interesting because I feel like they didn't learn anything. I'll ask them like, didn't you learn this, this, and this? And they're like, oh yeah, I remember that in class, but we didn't really focus on that. And I'm like, well, what did you guys focus on? So yeah, it's really great that the instructors here are very detailed with their work. You know, take it seriously, but also have some fun with it. Also, me being in the class, I kind of like, I don't know, I guess change the environment because I'm just sometimes dozing off or saying interesting things, and my teacher's just like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know, I'm not fully awake right now. But yeah, it's great. The classes were great. Teachers were great. Yeah.
So, would you recommend ATC for any students considering ATC, and if so, why?
Yeah, I actually have a lot of times when up and coming barbers approach me about what school I went to. I always say here, but a lot of them, for some reason, use, oh, the commute is too far for me as an excuse. I've lived in bigger cities, and you know, the commute here in Winnipeg is, to me, never a problem. And no matter what side of the city I lived, I would make that trip. I lived in, where was I at the time? I know it was like a 25-minute commute to get here,
Oh wow.
which, yeah, it was fine. But some of the guys I talked to, they're from like the north side of the city, and they said it would be too much of a hassle for them to drive all the way
Yeah.
here. But I mean, like, yeah, if you want to make that an excuse for yourself, you can. But it's a great school and very close knit. I would make the trip. So, I mean, if you want to go to another school and try to experience something else that I don't know about, then you go ahead. But I'm telling you what, that ATC is a great school to go to, and I always recommend it.
So
Yeah.
it takes me around 1 hour or 15 minutes around
Yeah,
to come here at ATC.
yeah,
But me and like my friends somehow make it.
yeah.
So you would recommend ATC. So there might be like many customers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you own a barber shop.
Mhm.
That's what we know. So they might be asking you like how you began it, and like what made you think of it, and they might be interested in knowing that how you started, and they also want to start, right?
Mm-hmm.
So would you recommend ATC to them also? Like, I went to that school,
Mm-hmm.
you should also go there.
Oh yeah, I've that's always the conversation when they ask me what school I went to. ATC, I say the instructors are great, taught me, you know, all the fundamentals and the science behind hair, and you know, they also put me in my place. Like, I was already cutting hair before I came to school, and kind of felt like I knew things. But yeah, my instructors were really good and told me like, you actually don't know things. And I'm like, yeah, you're actually probably right, because I'm failing some tests and not doing well in some of the subjects. So they really humbleized me, and like I said earlier, and they're really great.
You have your own barbershop.
Mhm.
When did you produce the general idea of owning or co-owning your own barbershop?
We had a project when I was in class, and it was create your own barbershop. And we had this little program that you could do the floor plan and the layouts, and we did
Wow.
research on, you know, what it's going to look like aesthetically, who your target market is, what services you're going to offer. So going through that project really opened my mind to the idea of owning one. I never really thought I would, or you know, I kind of thought about, but never, you know, put it into a plan or anything like that. And even with this barbershop ownership, this wasn't a plan either, and it happened. And yeah, it kind of was just an idea that was out there, but I never really took it seriously. And now I'm owning a barbershop.
So, you already did that project then at ATC about. Damn, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. it was
Yeah,
really
me
cool.
too. I didn't knew like they tell you how to own and like lay out everything. That's interesting. It's
Yeah.
more than what I thought it will be in like barber program, hairstyling. It's more than that. That's good.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was a really nice project.
What made you have the confidence to start up your own barbershop? Because there's a lot of competition around the city, obviously. So, like, what was that like for you? Because it must have been a little scary because you don't know if your business is going to kick off or anything, right?
Yeah, I think that's more. It more came with the confidence came with, I guess, like the time I've spent in the industry, and just my experience through my life outside of hair. We had a Zoom kind of like panel at MITT, and my good friend Praise, she owns Fresh Hair Boutique on Academy, and she had a good point when a student asked her, a lot of people will tell me, like clients, that, oh, you're doing really well, you have a lot of clientele, you should open up your own shop one day, da da da. And a lot of hairstylists and barbers think that it's easy, but it's not. If you don't have the personality or have the skill set of a leader, maybe owning a barbershop or a salon is not for you. And a lot of people don't see it until they get into it and kind of realize it then. Owning and running a shop is a lot of work. You gotta be the person that, and I'll kind of like quote unquote from Praise, but like, are you gonna be the person that has to suck it up and not cry when everyone else is crying? Are you gonna be the person that's going to have to find a solution while everyone's freaking out? Are you gonna be the person that is gonna have to take the hit when no one else wants to take the fall? So these certain things of owning a shop, a lot of people consider when owning it. Sometimes they think about just the money and how much money they're gonna make, but they don't realize, you want to do great things, but don't want to do the great things to be great.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I think there's a lot of things to consider before, trying to open up your own place. Like even right now, the place I'm running is brand new, and we're in a new area that doesn't really have a barbershop like the one we have. And, getting people in and out has been kind of a struggle, especially with everything that's happening with inflation and prices and everything, people losing jobs, people not getting paid enough. So, it's kind of tough getting people in the shop. But, with my experience, this is my second barbershop that I'm owning. So with my experience, it takes time, and some people don't have that patience. And, if you haven't practiced that skill set of patience, then this may not be for you. So it's not everyone always says it, it's kind of cliche, but it's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Yeah.
So if you think there's an end to this life of ownership or life of being great, then you might be disappointing yourself, because it just keeps going, it doesn't stop.
You're co-owning Dream Barbers. What can you
Yeah.
tell me about Dream Barbers and like what it is?
Well, Dream Barbers is a unique place. Business partner of mine, Lendel Soriano, he approached me when I was in a dark place, and he asked me if I wanted to help him co-own a shop that's above his boot camp. So he owns Dream Boot Camp, and above him was a space that he wanted to turn into a barbershop. So yeah, he's not a barber, he's a boot camp trainer. So he knew me through my sister from high school, so he knew that I was one of the I guess like they call OGs of the barber game. I was one of not so many barbers at the time. A lot of people don't know how long I've been doing this. I've been doing this for a really long time. But yeah, so he approached me, and I said, sure, why not? I'll help you open up this shop. So he named it Dream Barbers, which was kind of letting people know that dreams do come true. You just don't know when it's going to happen, and that's the whole point of Dream Barbers, Dream Boot Camp, and the whole environment we have there is that, as long as you believe in yourself and believe what you're doing is going to help others, and things can happen. And opening up the shop, like they say, like when you build it, they will come. So hopefully one day that will happen for us. I mean, it's happening little by little, but hopefully get a little bit busier. But the whole environment of Dream Boot Camp is getting people to understand that whatever you believe in yourself, it will eventually happen. You just gotta make a plan for it and take it step by step, and keep going with it.
Yeah, I bet, because you probably started off slower in terms of business-wise, less and less people, but I'm sure that numbers have been increasing lately.
Yeah. And being in this industry for a while and cutting hair for a long time, I've accumulated clientele, so they've been following me, and I always feel bad that I've been moving to so many different places. I've moved to 7 different shops in my career as a barber, and my clientele has followed me from place to place, and that's why, to me, like, when people talk about like commute and this and that, experiencing that with my clientele following me wherever I go, even though they live on the other side of the city, just shows me that people are willing. If you're a great person, you do great work, people will follow you where you go.
Oh, so like, where is your Dream Barbers located? I might come.
Yeah, you should come check it out. We are located at 2179 Portage Avenue. It's on the 2nd floor of the building, and it's right by Assiniboine Park, about a block down, on the same side as Sergeant Sunday, if you guys have been there before. So it's on St. James area, a little bit away from a lot of other places, but like I said, that area doesn't really have a shop like what we have. The other unique part about our shop is that we have a collab shop. It's a consignment store with sneakers and vintage goods. So the second location is with us upstairs. So that's another unique part of the shop is, you have a boot camp downstairs, you have the clothing store upstairs, and also the barbershop upstairs. So it's kind of like one-stop shop. You could get a workout, get a nice fit, and get freshened up for whatever it is you're trying to do with yourself.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So like, what I think ATC helped you, right? In like owning second barber shop somehow, right?
Of course.
With so many difficulties might came, but somehow ATC helped you in it. So my next question is there something that you think like Dream Barbers make Dream Barbers stand out from anywhere else, like something special or something like that?
Yeah, it's probably that combination of the gym, the clothing store, and the barbershop. There's not really a place in the city that has that all in one. So
Yeah.
that's the really cool part about our shop is, you got so many other services that you can utilize.
Before you started Dream Barbers, you worked at Saint. What can you tell me about your time there and how it helped you to where you are now in your career?
So Saint is owned by a very famous barber in North America. Actually goes by Famos. His name is Scott Ramos, and he's a really great barber. To me, he's more of an artist. He's very, very detailed with his work and very creative. I got to work alongside him and got to learn from him. Reason why I wanted to work there was to work with him and see what he does and how he does it, and just wanted to get better. So in order to get better, you gotta work with the best.
Exactly.
So he was one of the best barbers in the city, and really was a pioneer with Instagram and barbering. He was one of the first that I know of that was posting barbering photos on Instagram. So he got really popular with that. He won a competition, a barbering competition in the States. So that also inspired me to, try out some competitions and see how I do well in them. Traveled with him in, other barbering events through North America, and we even traveled to Europe. So
Oh,
that was
wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was really cool. So yeah, I just knew there was opportunities there that I can, help myself level up, and yeah, it didn't disappoint, and I got better and better as I was working there.
Yeah, that's sick. I didn't know about him. I heard his name before, but I didn't really know what he did exactly.
Mhm.
I do recognize that name though.
Hmm. Yeah.
What is one thing your business venture did that you didn't expect?
A lot. Traveling, joining competitions, meeting other barbers, not just in North America but in Europe. Just being connected through social media with barbering and other great barbers. Being in the movie industry, so I was one of, or I had an opportunity to be the first celebrity barber. So I got, well, not celebrity, but like on-set barber.
Yeah.
So I got to meet like actors and cut them up and be on set and be part of a movie set and watch them
wow.
how to make a movie. So I was hired by Netflix. That was my first gig.
Netflix.
Yeah, it was my first gig. Got to meet the Netflix guy. Like, I forgot his name.
Like the owner?
I'm pretty sure he was the owner. That's what
Damn.
everyone was saying. And he came by to check it out because I think it was just the beginning of Netflix filming in Winnipeg. So got to meet him and got to meet a very great man named Forrest Whitaker. So he was my first private barbering opportunity. So I worked with him for a month and was his private barber. So it was really cool working with Forrest. Really, really nice guy, super introvert. If you watch him in some of his movies, he's like a very strong presence. He is a strong presence, but he's not that aggressive in real life. So he's really a nice guy. I got to chill with him. Got to chill with Michael Jai White, who's a big time martial artist in the movie industry. The movie industry was really cool to be part of, and seeing how people make movies, and I was just so into it, and really enjoyed that. That was a big shock of what this industry brought me. Got to meet some NBA players.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like who?
Kelly Olynyk and Dwight Powell.
Yeah.
So Kelly Olynyk plays now for, pretty sure, Detroit
Yeah.
Pistons, and then Dwight Powell is with
He got
Dallas.
traded, and he.
Dwight Powell, no, I think he's still in Dallas. I'm pretty
Think
sure.
so.
But got to, with me cutting hair, I got to go and join and help out at Kelly Olynyk's basketball camp in Kamloops, and I got to give haircuts to kids and the staff, and just be part of the whole camp, and which was really cool because I got to put both of my passions together, basketball and barbering. So that was really cool. Like I said, I traveled in Europe, so I got to compete in Amsterdam, which I didn't really place, but it was a really great experience. I got the criteria of the event wrong, so that was embarrassing, but it was still fun. People were like, "Oh, what is this guy doing? This guy's going nuts!" I was doing hair design in a pompadour competition,
Okay.
so that didn't go so well. They're like so confused on what I was doing, but it was still fun. Got to meet a lot of people. Got to meet a friend, Sergio, who owns his barbershop in Paris. So the following summer, I went to Paris, or not summer, just before the summer, went to Paris and got to work there for a few days as a barbershop. Then I also met Ian, they call him Champ, and he owns a barbershop in London, so I got to work there for a few days. So yeah, a lot of experiences came with barbering, which I did not expect. I get to reconnect with some of my family members and close friends almost twice a month, which working so much you barely get that time. So giving them a
so it
haircut,
helps, yeah.
giving them a haircut and catching up really helps, and and reconnecting with old friends that I haven't seen for a while, and they found out that I'm a barber, so they come and get a haircut, and we get to catch up. Another big shock of the industry was I met my life partner, who's also in hair. She was actually here last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, teaching a class downstairs
Okay.
about different textures of hair. So meeting her, and now we have our son who's 3 months, who's the reason why I stay up all night,
Part of the
having so
sacrifice.
much fun. It's like partying, but not. Yeah, really enjoying him, and that was another shock to, be in this industry, meeting someone in the industry, and, now building a life together in this industry. So that's really nice. Yeah, like, I don't know if it has to do so much with being in this industry and what it's taken me to, or if it was just kind of like how it was supposed to pan out anyways. So, for me, it's not a question I'm trying to answer, but just trying to enjoy what's being offered to me.
Yeah. So we can say, right, like someone graduated from ATC and is working in Netflix, right? Like giving a haircut to the actors and like on set. Like someone graduated from ATC and working on sets in Netflix. That's a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
A good sign.
Yeah, it made me
Great
think of you
achievement.
guys actually when I was on set, and I was like, man, this is what these guys probably learned in class,
Yeah.
like all of this stuff. Oh man, the movie set is like high school. It really is. It's like high school is like the template of like different industries you're gonna work in.
Wow.
But yeah, it's like you got your cameraman crew, you got your
Makeup
set crew,
artists.
you got your makeup artists, you got your hair crew, you got the actors, you got the what are they called, the stand-ins, you got the producers, the directors, the technicians, everyone. It's like it reminds me of a combination of a high school like I guess like all the students and stuff, and then also part of a football team, because everyone
Yeah.
has to work together in order to make this film happen. And if one person falls behind, the whole film sucks, because
Exactly.
just that one person, like, I don't know, let's say the sound editor or whatever, if he doesn't make the sound right, like, it's gonna suck. It's not gonna be that good. So it was really cool to see how the whole month went with filming, and then watching the movie after and seeing the effects of the environment and everyone working together to making a film. And I think that's what makes a great film, from what I've seen working on set, is if it's a great group of people, it becomes a great film. I was also part of what's that movie called? It was a true story, and it was filmed. Yeah, it was called. I can't remember, but it was a kind of a religious movie. It was about a kid that fell through ice. Breakthrough. Yeah.
Oh.
So I was part of that movie and got to meet the kid.
Oh, really?
Oh, it was crazy. It was so weird. But I was part of that film, and the director, great, Devon Franklin. He's a great director, and you feel his energy, and you feel, his greatness, and that really kind of just spread through, everybody, and that became a really great film. So I haven't seen it yet, but I keep hearing from people it's a really great film because it's a great story.
Yeah.
So have you seen it?
No, haven't.
No, but you heard about it?
Yes, I
yeah,
have
right.
heard about
yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's filmed at the church just on Sterling Lion.
Yeah.
It was filmed at that church. So yeah, you'll see scenes of them in the church, and it was right here in Winnipeg. So that's a cool part of, watching them film and making it look like you're not in Winnipeg, because we were filmed with Netflix. We were filming downtown, and all the
Yeah.
scenes in that movie in downtown, they make it look like it's Chicago, I think it was, but it
Oh,
was
really?
Winnipeg. Yeah. It was really cool.
That's what we do over here, like in the broadcast media.
Mhm.
Like we Ken Plating, our teacher,
Yeah.
he produces the directors.
Yeah.
Yeah, and directors, producer, he makes them.
Yeah.
So ATC, like over here at ATC, we get like the broadcast media also and the hairstyling. So you like on set, you saw both. That's good.
Yeah.
So Mark, obviously you had a lot of success in your career. You've done crazy things. Like, wow, I was surprised by the amount of incredible stuff you did working
there's
on
a
movies
lot.
and
Yeah, there's a
meeting
lot.
NBA players. That sounds
Yeah.
amazing, especially just from coming out of ATC. That's pretty incredible. One last question for you: what piece of advice would you give to someone entering ATC for the first time?
I would say, do your best and don't really have expectations. Take it as it comes. I mean, be patient. It's school. I mean, there's going to be some things you like, some things you don't. And you just have to get through it. And you won't see why you're doing it, or you won't see what it's meant for. And I don't think that's for you to know, and it's really for you to find out. But if you just focus on the fundamentals and the basics and really, pay attention to that, that's really the core base of anything you're going to be great at. You can't skip the fundamentals and, be great at something. You have to master the fundamentals in order to be great at something. Yeah. So that's what AT is great at, is, teaching you the fundamentals and making sure you fully understand them in detail, so that when you're out in the world, you could always come back to the fundamentals, and you'll eventually, figure out what it is you're trying to find, just, understanding those core basics.
Yeah, so thank you so much for coming on the show. That was it for today's episode of LRATC Rewind. You can check out more on our socials at Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, so you can find this episode even on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So
great.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming, Mark.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah,
Thanks a
appreciate
lot.
it. Thank you.